Well, hello there. It's the 24th of May. Can you believe it? 24th of May. Wow. In a week, it's going to be June. Holy mackerel. Woo. The months fly by. No wonder the rumor mill has been going crazy regarding the, the iPhone that comes up very soon. Trying to get these, my electronics is acting up this afternoon. I must have woken up from its nap. I think I'm okay. I mean, I got if you were to see all the wires that are, Brown says, why do you got all these black napkins all over it? Well, it's because it looks like a little jungle of wires in my little studio thingy here. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Can I get this going? Oops. Can I get it going? Holy mackerel. Oh, God. I was going to show you this crazy. Ooh. It gets a little confusing, doesn't it? Yep, see, here's... I don't have a choice of... I guess I don't have a choice of... I guess I don't have a choice of lenses. Oops. I think I just lost the camera. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's get back to normal. So we have to add this guy. Get rid of that guy. There you go. Huh. Boing. All right, not just... no. Anyway, see this camera up here controls. So, yeah, you can see almost everything. Except you can't see, this soundboard stuff. Because of the way the camera's sitting, like, behind it. Let's see if I can get this away. I get it right. Like that. There you go. That's it. It's not easy to coordinate all this stuff. Ooh. Anyway, a lot of wires. It's really not. It's not supposed to be complicated. I guess it is to some people. It's not to me, but there's a lot of things, I don't have anyone that really would fiddle with my wires. No, I'm not worried about someone fiddling with my wires. But you never know. Oh, God, there's so much news. Oh, where to start? We got so. Oh, let's bring up this. Whoops. Let's add this guy right here. There we go. So you can have different cameras going at one time. And this is supposed to be an active camera, but what if I did that? Does that mean it's working? No. Okay. So the interesting thing here, see this guy? Yeah, I can expand that. That bird landed right on our balcony and was looking at me and my cat. Yes. I mean, that bird, it was, bigger than a chicken and smaller than a turkey. You wouldn't want to be anywhere near that beak. Yeah. So both eyes were trained on us, and he was sitting on our balcony. There are all kinds of birds that fly around here, including that one. Yeah, that's a relatively serious bird. Anyway, so Marilyn identified that as a hawk. So we had a hawk on our balcony, and it was a big one. It was like, this big, with these muscular looking legs. Yeah, that's amazing. Ooh, very aerodynamic little sucker. And he's walking up and down the side of our balcony, on top of our top rail, and then it just took off. But he was there like 4 or 5 minutes, and it got my cat a little nervous because he could just grab that sucker and fly off with our cat and have a little early dinner. No. So that's why that picture, when that came up, in this little series of 3 pictures, and the Boca Raton temperature is 73 outside. It's going to go to 75, and it'll go down to 72. So that's what that thing is all about. And Marilyn got some flowers today, sent to her from the Boca Raton Rotary. Yep. The downtown Boca Raton Rotary was missing her because she's had this leg issue, and then it went to her hip, and then it went down her leg into her knee. She could barely walk. It's like she's limping around here. She had a cane. She had a walker. It's relatively serious. Anyway, they sent her flowers. Hope you're feeling better. Downtown Boca Raton Rotary Club. Yeah, that was very nice. There's a little thing. Whoops. That's right, I can take that copy. That's right, I was trying to show someone how this works. So copy. And then we're going to go to Marilyn. And I'm going to paste it. Paste. There you go. And I'm going to send that. You see? No, that's just the arrangement. And it digitally removed the background. How cool is that, huh? Let's try that one more time. Go to the photos, and let's try this arrangement and do this. It's not doing it. There it is. Okay. No, we're not going to do that one. I don't think I can. Oh, got it. Okay. Copy. Then we go over here to Marilyn's, what do you call it? Chat. And we're going to paste it. There we go. All right. And here we can see without a background. Very nice. That's a masking. They call it a masking. Yep. Anyway, so she got flowers. This is just the back end of the bouquet. This is the front end. If you look down this way, we look down the throat of this flower. And that's that. See, and there's the card holders up in that very corner. Well, it looks like Jeff Bezos is back in the moon business. I think he thought he was not in the moon business, and now he is, because he just won a $3.4 billion contract. I guess they decided they didn't want to keep giving it to SpaceX, although they have incredible experience. And I would have loved for them to got that contract. But, let's see what happens. Uh, 2 years ago, see here, 2 years ago, Jeff Bezos' dream of becoming a major player in human space flight suffered a major setback when NASA chose SpaceX Starship HLS to develop the lander that would return U.S. astronauts to the moon. So he already has a contract for that. According to the agency, the original plan was to have multiple landers from multiple contractors, but budget cuts required only one be chosen. So what does that mean? Did SpaceX lose something? What is... all right, anyway. We'll have to get a reading from Elon Musk. Whoops, sorry. He'll certainly comment about that. Because of his business he wanted, and he didn't get, and it's confusing on who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? No. Anyway, so Santos is getting in the race. He was acting like he was in the race, but he didn't file the papers. There's certain papers you got to file with the Federal Election Commission, which he apparently just filed 15 minutes ago or so this afternoon. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is launching future perfect tense there, his presidential campaign, and he's going to make his formal announcement on Twitter with Elon Musk, with a 1-hour evening conversation with Musk. That should be interesting. And it's sound only, no video. And you have to tune in to Twitter somehow and get that. No, I haven't figured out. I haven't tried to figure out how you do that, but I will. I know I'm a favorite of Elon Musk, so we'll have to see where that comes from. And let's see, how do we get this? I guess this is it right here. Meghan Markle reportedly wants her children to have a relationship with their grandfather, King Charles, now and more than ever. Meghan Markle reportedly wants her and Prince Harry's 2 young children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, 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 maybe. I've never heard them pronounce the name of their little girl. Anyway, they want everybody to have a relationship with the king, now more than ever. I guess because he's king. Yeah, he's king because, Grandma died. So there's a little bundle of joy. So that's what that picture is all about. And that's, it's the little devil. So there's look at that picture inside the palace. It's amazing. This monarchy stuff. It's been going on since 1024. Can you believe it? That's a long time. It's like 1,000 years. Wow. So all these. So over on this side is the king and the queen, and over this side, we can get over here, is William. So he is next in line. Something happens to King Charles, and you have King William. And then she becomes, I don't know what she becomes. She becomes married to the king. I don't think she becomes a queen. Well, unless the king wants her to be a queen. But it's not a line of succession person. Because it goes this guy and the other guy in the blue suit, and then his children going down the line. Male. I think males, yeah. So, something would have to happen to William for Prince Harry to be anywhere in the line of succession. So that's that. All right, so there's a rumor that the iPhone 16, we currently have the 15. And we can, with the 3 cameras and the sensor here that detects, this sends out radar signals. Can you imagine? So you can point your camera in a certain direction with an app going on for virtual reality. Like if you were in a store with a couch, you could bring up a picture of your living room and using virtual reality, put that couch right in there. And it would show whether it fits or not. Really quite. I use virtual reality to figure out, you can't see it here, but in that other room is our big screen TV. And how did I, look at that, it's on again. So I can take this camera, see? And you can see this microphone in this picture. Well, now I'm going right over it. And we're going right over. So, there, see, in that room right there, there is a big TV. It's 85 inches, would you believe it? 85, that's 85 inches. And it fits right in that room perfectly. It wasn't easy. And I was deciding between 75, 80, 85. So I put 85 in the virtual reality doodad. I'm going to hang this up here and get it out, turn it off. Boing. There we go. So now we got, yeah. So, you know, that's... So we're looking here at the... I have the 15, which we were just playing with, and the 16. We can see that there's a difference, you know, what, 2, 3, 4 millimeters. The width is like 1 millimeter wider and about 3 millimeters higher for the 16.9 inch screen. No, 6.9 inch screen. Why don't they just make it 7? Why don't they just round up? Why do they come up with? Because this probably has to do with millimeters. I don't have my tape measure handy, but yeah, I mean, it's probably X number of centimeters exactly instead of 6.9 inches. Oh, there's yeah, Canon just came out with a this is like the R10, which is, this is a small, it's not a full frame imager, it's slightly smaller. You know, the ASPC size. And in a mirrorless camera, which has a lot of the technology that they've already decided, and you can put on the kit lens, which I recommend everybody get another lens and just keep that one in the box as an emergency in case the real lens, that, because this is like plastic, you know, I'm not too sure about the elements, but the whole thing is plastic, and it's the lens I'm talking about. So, but you see, it's a nice little compact camera. It's a digital SLR. It's got a nice little dial up on top. I love the dial that's on top. You know, all this stuff with menus gets, you know, gets very annoying. Anyway, so that's the latest from Canon. They just announced it. And then, look at this. This is an artificial intelligence. A robot. And look at the detail. And the eyes go back and forth. You know, it's like, holy crap. Oh, my Lord. It's amazing. It's got a chest and everything. Like it's going to, you know, feed a newborn. So anyway, I went in the back door and got that picture and made it look a little, you know, a little more color and everything. And just to beautify that face. It's really quite amazing. Boing. So here's, it looks a little cloudy out there, you know. All right. Are you looking for a way to easily create stunning visuals without investing, you know, a year and a half to do it? Well, the AI generators are an excellent option. So these are like, I haven't done it yet. Okay, I'm reading about it. But, you know, this AI, you know, chat GPT, Uh, apparently, either that version or other versions of it, um, you can, oh my God, you can plug in modules to have it do something. You know, like artistic design and so forth. And I haven't figured out how to do it. I haven't actually tried. Oh, you know, Ike and Tina Turner. Remember Ike and Tina Turner? Well, let's just sing up here. Well, Tina Turner has just passed away at 83 years old. She rode a hard life in that music business. It's not easy being queasy. And SpaceX Dragon crew ship approaches the International Space Station. It opens up his little thingy here, and then it goes right into a cylinder, which is right around this edge here. But it has, you know, cameras and ultrasonic sensors and all that to guide it. A red beeping light right there. Let you know everybody's alive inside. Anyway, so that's it's already connected. This was done, you know, yesterday. So a lot happens in a day. Well, they actually connected it, and the 4 astronauts emerged from the Dragon ship, which is like a real big, you know, the one the United States government came up with was pretty, was not spacious, put it that way. There's so much stuff all around. If you got any kind of claustrophobia, you're in deep poo-poo because it's real tight. And let's see if I have a picture of our little cat Caribou. Here it is. This is our little Caribou laying down, and she's going to pass away, and she passed away. And you can see she was, you know, she kind of looks like she's had it. She's almost 15 years old, and you know, just you know, started to pass. You know, things weren't working, and she couldn't figure out how to get into the litter box. So she peed near the litter box, but she couldn't pee in it. You know, so Daniel rode over some pee pads that an animal hospital gave him for his dog. These nice big pads you open up, and they're kind of like a diaper that lays flat. It's the best way to. So you got a waterproof surface, and you got a surface that will accept pee. So we put one of those pads under her, and she just passed away. You know, it was almost exactly at 3 o'clock afternoon yesterday. And, you know, I put my hand on her little body, and it was still, her body was still warm. But, you know, rigor mortis had already set in, her legs are stiff. But her body was, you know, it just stopped working. So that's the last picture we have of Caribou. So that's it. But we have 2 other cats to keep us in business. So, what are you going to do? So, we have to turn our attention to the DeSantis and Trump and how that's going to. DeSantis has to be, it's a really tricky situation because you got, you had 65 million people vote for Trump. Okay, and wasn't enough votes. 65 million. And so now you have, and he's running, he wants to run again. And I'd vote for him in a minute because he was, even with all the static that the Democrats are throwing at him, all this stuff with Russia, which also, they just came out with it last month that, Russia was a hoax promulgated by the Democratic Party. Oh my God, can you imagine? 5 years later, they determined it was a hoax at the cost of $65 million. So, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's terrible. They hire all these lawyers to investigate, bupkis. There's nothing there. That's what you do, I guess. Dirty politics. That's what I would call that. Kind of like cheating, but it's not illegal. It's not illegal to cheat, but so you can cheat. It's a bad word, but Democrats say, "Yeah, who cares? My guy's in the White House, and their guy isn't." That's what they look at. And now you have, Biden. You see some stuff up here. Registered voters, the Quinnipiac poll. Is Biden too old to be effective? 65% say yes. 32% say no. Well, guess who the 32% are? The real hardcore liberals. Because any person, with an IQ over, let's say, 50 would realize that when President Biden stumbles into the room, chances are he doesn't know what day of the week it is. And when you see Trump parading around, he's very cognitive. You would not think for a second that he has any sense of dementia. But Biden, his short-term memory is not good. And apparently that's what goes first, when things come and go. So DeSantis, this is just Jimmy talking now. I don't speak for the Republican Party, for sure. Just one little guy up here in the high-rise building somewhere in downtown Boca, but I'm not going to tell you exactly where, because they may shoot a rocket in here and blow me up. I don't think so. Anyway, so DeSantis comes along, and he looks like Trump light. Trump without the baggage. So, Trump, he's got, 39 counts of something in New York City. And the judge says, and you're going to get back here in person to listen to this. Garbage. And it all has to do with, Stormy Daniels and that 130,000, she was paid. Well, the bottom line is Trump hired a lawyer, and the lawyer handled the non-disclosure agreement, which is what you sign in order to get the 130K. And then when it's time to pay, Trump funds, he pays the lawyer, and the lawyer pays, Stormy Daniels. And that's all, with checkbooks and so forth, their wire transfers. And so the state of New York says, well, you did that in secret. Well, of course he did it in secret. He's trying to keep it from his wife. And he's trying to run for office. He's all hushy-hushy. And this is like 10 years ago. It wasn't even when he was running for office. He just wanted to get rid of this woman, using the vernacular of the time. Get rid of her, pay her off, get away from me. I don't even know who she is, I don't think. Anyway, so he's got lawsuits going on. And then he's going to have another bunch of lawsuits coming down on the January 6th business. He should have done this and he should have done that. Well, it's easy to say, And he told everybody to quietly walk towards the Capitol. And Trump offered Nancy Pelosi, who's in charge of the Capitol, I mean, literally, and not now, but was, and he offered up to 20,000, National Guards people, I believe. 20,000 National Guard people to, dress up in their military gag and surround the Capitol to make sure it's protected. They didn't have enough, Trump had a speech in front of, like 100,000 people outside, And he said it's probably the largest audience I ever had given a speech. And Nancy said, nah, I don't like the appearance of having National Guards all over. Well, they had some bad guys that showed up from Seattle, Washington, and, with bats and so forth. So they fought their way in the Capitol Police and banged up the doors and got in the Capitol building, without walking through with your pass and all that kind of crap. And there are other people just walking through, like it's oh, jeez. So he's going to have all kinds of litigation on that, too. Criminal stuff that's going to come down probably on that. So Trump is going to be so tied up with litigation, lawsuits, so somehow or other, Trump has to get to the mindset. He's a very, persistent, stubborn guy. So will he actually, acquiesce to, these guys like each other. I mean, Trump was a big, supporter of DeSantis when he was a congressman. He grew up in Dunedin, over there. And it's a town about, it's this big, And let's see if I can do a little quick, what do you call it, search on that. Dunedin, let's see. Boy. Let's see. Dunedin. It's somewhere in the St. Petersburg, Clearwater, touching. There we go. Museums, things to do. Let's do things to do on my phone here. Touch the. Oh, hey, look at that. You can Yeah. Immediately, Clearwater, St. Pete. So you go, you have water stuff and everything. It's a little town, over there in the Tampa area. It's currently 81 degrees. Scattered showers, chance of rain. That's what's going on in Dunedin. Ah, boy. Anyway, let's get rid of the weather and say population. Anyway, so this crap. Oh, I can't get it. Let's try this one. Yeah, 35,793. Dunedin, you can turn down the brightness on this sucker. There we go. You can see the. Oops. There we go. You see that? 35,793. You can barely see it. Anyway, so if the population zoomed up around 1990, it's a very steep incline. It's the 84th largest city in Florida. Well, that's not saying much, but 84th. And it's the 1100th city in the United States. The next question is, well, how many cities are there? It's got to be in the bottom, quadrantal. It's a density of 3,400 people per square mile. And the city spans 23 square miles, if I read this correctly. Average Dunedin income is $69,000. The poverty rate has a poverty rate of 12%. That's not good. Average age is 56.8. So it's not, I wouldn't call it a young town. It's a retirement place. And this is, DeSantis was a congressman in the Dunedin area. He's their favorite son, so to speak. He grew up, went to school, born, raised, went to school in Dunedin. And from there, he went into I'm going to say I think he went to West Point, which is pretty exciting to get into West Point. And then he went, and then he became a lawyer, and he became a JAG officer, Judge Advocate General, JAG officer. So, they try all the cases in the military, when people do things they're not supposed to do. There's a little color diagram. 90.8% is white people. 90.82. And the next part of this pie chart is colored green. 2 or more races. Okay. And the purple is black or African American. Black or African, whatever. I thought African American was black. but they say black or African American. Apparently, they have two different check boxes in the census. And let's see, orange is Asian. So, between Asian, the African American, and two or more races, they all have the same small little sliver here. And the littlest sliver that I can see is red, and that's other races. Okay. There's a pink sliver here, which is Native American. So there's a little tiny pink sliver right there, which you may be able to see. Anyway, so I'm just being a wise guy here. The population pyramid, male and female. Median age is 56.8. Anyway, so our governor came from Dunedin. That was his hometown. And he was in the military for 15 years. As the highest position was a judge advocate general. And, he got his basic training in West Point. 4 years of that, which, that's important, I remember when I was a high school freshman, sophomore, and the thought of getting in West Point, say, are you kidding? Whew. Okay, so if there's some way that Trump can just, understand the political powers of all this litigation, he bows out of the race and DeSantis becomes the Republican. The reason why DeSantis is attractive to many of the political people that knows about politics, which I am not included in that group, but according to what they say, is that, Florida is a really big, skinny, tall state, and you got all kinds of people that are up on the top of Florida that are very different than the people that are in the middle of the, the state, like Orlando and so forth. And then you get down here in the very south in Broward County, which is, like 90% liberal. Palm Beach County, it's, a little bit more even, but definitely Democratic stronghold. So the whole southeast part of the Florida is strong liberal. The Tampa area, that's like, 52-48, and I don't know which way it is, but it's a close. I don't know how that is. Let's just say 50-50. But you have these different demographics, all over the state of Florida. So if you can win, and DeSantis won by huge margins, all these, the whole state. I mean, he just about won every single county, which is, 67 counties. And he got most of them. And he won by almost 20% over the next person. Which is, that's quite a victory. And so one could believe that because he appeals to all different kinds of demographics, that he may do well nationally. People out west don't really know him. He's not going to get, the whole West Coast. Forget about it. He ain't going to get anything over there. So when you come in, to Arizona and all that, you got a shot. But if you get to California and Oregon and all that, that's just, they're going to vote for Biden no matter what, which is like crazy. But over here, on the, you got about 5 or 6 states, that you have to win. And, like Wisconsin, Arizona, Pennsylvania, all the states, the swing states, Georgia, that votes for one person and then it keeps flopping back and forth. When you kind of look at it, they haven't done specific polling yet because he's not in the race until tonight at 6 o'clock. He's going to have a 1-hour Twitter thing, which I have to figure out how to do that right after we get off of this. We'll figure out how to do the Twitter thing. I'll put it on my Facebook account, on how to do it, after we get off this broadcast, which I've been live for 52 minutes, 53 minutes exactly. So, anyway, I'm going to... Marilyn has an MRI on her hip, leg, whatever. Tonight at 6 o'clock. She's got to drive all the way out west to 441. My God. What a drive. Because you got all this, commuter traffic that goes west from the city. And these suburban city office buildings and things. It jams up the roads pretty good. When you stop at a red light, you probably got 30 cars in front of you, and then the light turns green, and 5 minutes later you move, and by the time you get to the place where the traffic light is, it turns red on you, so, seems like it only allows 25, 30 cars at a time. And so she's got to do that. And then coming back, it's an easier matter. But she's learned how to drive that Tesla really good, which is nice. I like the car. It's got get up and go like crazy. These electric cars are these electric motors that Tesla company, engineered these motors internally. They're not buying electric motors from Bosch. They have created their own windings. They're creating the rotor with permanent magnets and with plates, to eliminate the eddy currents. And they're manufacturing the motors, from scratch. They got the copper wire and they wind it. They invented the machine that winds, the rotors based on the specifications. And, that the engineers come down with on how to wind the motors. I mean, it's just the logistics. It's a logistics nightmare. You know, to have the everything come together, and and then have 10,000 cars a day, come out the back door finished. It's amazing. To manage the supply line of that is just a logistics, exercise of the highest order. So they've actually, instead of having one line, they've got several different. So, the car comes down like a central point instead of starting. And then you've got sublines that come in sideways that meet up with the main line that's coming down here, which is the shell of the car. So one of the sublines is, makes the battery. Another subline is, all the stuff that's in the door. So instead of attaching the doors to the car, and then you would, put stuff in the doors while it's on the car, you do all that before the door gets on the car. So you have like these sublines. That's the latest that I heard from Elon. And that's the best I could explain it. But, and you got the seating, that's, oh my God. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. The cameras, the sensors, the computers, that all comes together at a certain point. Tesla's going to have some headaches. And the headaches that I see, just regular guy, we drive a Tesla, and when we, decided on it, and all the stuff is done online, right? You do it online on their, site. Let's get out of here. One of these. Press that Tesla one. See if that's. Yep, there it is. See? Drive a demo? No. I don't need that. Model Y. You can see this. You can see this right over here, right? All right. So let's just do it quick. It's going to order one. All right. Federal tax credit. Yeah. That's what they say. All right. So we want the long. So you got the Model Y with the standard range battery, the long range battery. And the reason why I don't like, I love to get the high performance, but the wheels, they don't give you enough rubber. They got these 21-inch wheels, and the amount of rubber you got is that much. And, you hit a pothole and the tire goes flat. We've never done it. We've driven it 14,000 miles, and, we don't have those skinny rims now. But apparently you need those skinny rims if you want to go real fast. Like 130. Who's going to go 130? I mean, that's like nuts. Anyway, so long range, there it is, 50,490. And we want red paint this time. How about that? Ooh, look how that looks. Ooh la la. Nice. Yeah, we're going to decide to do red. What the hell? You get older, you get a little colorblind. But you see, you got the 19-inch wheels. And then if you want those wheels, they got to be 20-inch wheels for 2K. and the range is 318 miles. And with the standard rate, the range is 330. So with the skinnier tires, you don't get the same, you get less range. Anyway, so, I mean, the car looks better, granted. I mean, look at that. You know, that's a pretty, I love those rims. But you see the amount of rubber, you know, I'm expanding as much as I can. But, you know, you go from the rim to the straight, there's not a lot of pneumatic cushion. Let's call it that. So let's get rid of those tires. Let me get the other kind of tires. There we go. See, there's more. There's another inch of rubber. Well, when you only got like 3 inches, you get 4 inches. That's a 25% increase. Anyway, that's what we have now. The ride is rough. You know, it's rough with these tires. I wish they had 18-inch rims instead of these 19-inch. I'd rather have 18 or 17. You know, tow hitch, yeah. We got a tow hitch. What the heck? It's $1,000. White interior. Thank you very much. See, now this is why I did this. And if you can see this, full self-driving, coming soon. They've been saying coming soon for 4 years. You know, I mean, Elon, he may be, you know, pretty good in a lot of different ways. But planning on how long it takes to do something, he's not so good. You know, because the full self-driving thing. So he finally threw up his hands because he's, you know, between the hardware people and the software people, he's going back and forth like a ping pong ball. And he's beating up on the software people, and then he beats up on the hardware. Well, it turns out that he finally says, you know what, the hardware configuration number 3, HW3, will not be able to handle full self-driving, which is every car on the road. You know, that's Tesla. That's all hardware 3. That's, you know, since October of, you know, 2000 and whatever. 4 years ago. So there should be a star in there. Do not order if you got hardware version 3. Well, that's all that is available is hardware 3, which specifies all the cameras, the computer, and, you know, the capacity in the computer and the memory and all that stuff about the computer. And, you know, so they take your $15,000 and it won't work in the car. And he said, you cannot upgrade from hardware 3 to hardware 4. Can't do it. We can't pull out the cameras and give you new cameras and the computer and give you a new computer. And, you know, we can't do it. So you're basically stuck. So all the people that already paid, I figured there's about 3.3. This is afternoon fast math. That's not from the company. I figure it's over $3 billion that they have collected in advance of having full self-driving work. In other words, people paid like $6,000, you know, 3 or 4 years ago. Then it went to $8,000. Then it went to 10. Then it went 12. Then it went to 15. You know, like a year ago. 15. He keeps raising it, and it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't. It's still beta. Well, beta baloney. It's alpha. Because I drove beta. You know, and you had to special. You had to pass a special driving test for a month. Literally, they had, and of course the car can tell, how you're driving. And it's got all these sensors and computers and stuff, right? So it knows, whether you know how to drive or not. And unless you scored initially, the first 10,000 people they let use it, in the marketplace, other than employees, that have cars, which they have, like 10,000 of 5 or 10,000 of those that they'll release the software to because they're, in the family. But to let it out, to just every schmo out there that passes the driving test. So I passed it, I got 100. Big deal. That allowed me to drive the full self-driving thing. And I, instead of paying that 15K number, which is like nuts, I paid the $100 of this, the monthly. You could sign up for it, like a monthly subscription. Well, why not do that instead of paying this stupid big number? There's $3 billion worth of people that signed up. And then he says, oops, it won't work with hardware version 3. And there's no path to upgrade to hardware 4. So when hardware 4 comes out, and, in the cars that come out later in the year, they'll be able to work the full self-driving, whenever we have the software ready. Which, God knows when that is. It's terrible. It's complicated, So it's like autopilot in an airplane, except you're on roads. Where you got people steering India and all this stuff, and people and dogs running across the street. It's got to watch out for all kinds of things. That's why it's got cameras all around. Well, so the software has to, deal with all these things. At least when you fly an airplane, you look around, there's no one else taking off, you take off. The air traffic controller. But now, because the air traffic controllers aren't really up to snuff, they almost had planes taking off and landing into each other. Anyway, let's just stay on this. So, full self-driving is, now, they're working like dogs day and night. But they've, they let the cat out of the bag. They said hardware version 3, it does not have the specifications so that full self-driving would be safe. So all these people, got stuck. And there has to be a path for them to get their money back plus interest, And they get a ticket for, a pass, for... They can pay their $10,000 or their $15,000, whatever their price point was. They can pay that money back in, at the later date if they ever get it working. Which could be the year, 2030. They really need to get that under order because that is a huge financial, ethical, anyway. So here we're getting ready to buy a car. Okay, here it is. Continue the payment. Bingo, let's do that. All right. So, I think, what do you think? Let's lease it. And they want you to put $4,500 down, which is $326 a month for the remainder. So, we're going to put $500 down. Not $4,500. So that means do it signing. It's going to cost $1,940. With all the transportation fees and licensing and all this gobbledygook. So $500 down. Do it signing $1,940. And my lease payment would be $745 a month. Yeah. So we'll do that. What's this board in here? Yeah, they're just saying Tesla leasing is available in the following states. And Florida's in that crowd. So, and we're leasing in one now. So, proof enough. Anyway, so that's all there is to buying a car these days. And they tell you that somewhere here, design, show details, more details. It'd be ready like in August, May, June, July, like 90 days. So they got between 60 and 90 days. So you got to stand online, which that means that they can't make these cars fast enough, which is really quite amazing when you think about it. And they make, like 20% profit per car. It's the only car in the entire car industry that makes money. General Motors and all these guys, they don't make any money. They lose money on the stupid cars. They make money in the depreciation of their buildings and equipment. They make like 4 or 5% on the car. Tesla's making like 20%, 19%. The car. I mean, you got Ford, General Motors. They've been around for 100 years. This schmuck comes in, 12 years ago, and he's banging out these cars. And every year he's making 40% more cars than he made from the year before. And they say, oh, no, you can't do that. Well, every year he keeps doing it. He's up to, over 1 million cars a year. All right? That's a lot. That's a lot of wheels. Anyway. I mean, look. Honda, delivers, 10 million cars a year. Toyota, delivers 15,000 cars a year. So these car companies deliver like lots of cars. But they're telling Tesla they can't do it. See, and Tesla has this automated factory, and they can just turn up the dial, and it makes more cars because all the equipment is there. Anyway, so that's how easy it is to buy a car. You got to, hey, let's go back to edit design. And the reason why it's so easy is because, look at this. You got choices of 5 colors. White, midnight silver metallic. That's a new one. And then you got this in blue, deep metallic blue. Look at this. And this is solid black. That's what we have right now. And it is solid black. And we're going to... Mel says, I don't know that white car. I says, no. But how about something? That's fine. How about something else? How about red? And I showed her the red. She says, yeah, let's do red. So we're going to do red. Well, the car doesn't, where in June, so in June, that makes the second year. All right. So we're 2 years into it, like in 2 weeks. Because this, it was like June 11th. So this is, the 24th. So that's about 2 weeks from now. So in 2 weeks, we'll have the car for 2 years. So we got 1 year left. So you have to start thinking about this stuff. I mean, because, they have about a 90-day window. So in March, we would order the next car in March. 2024, March, we would order the car. Whatever kind of specifications they have on the car then and how much it costs and whatever. That's what they're doing. So I was thinking about it a little early. But yeah, I figured I might as well, run it by her and see what she says. So she's okay with red, so let's try red. So, it's, Tesla's really, you got 5 colors, that's it. You got this wheel or that wheel, that's it. You don't have a tow hitch or not, that's it. So that's the interior, what the car would look like with the white. I've seen it. It's spectacular. Look at the cars moving around. This is the autopilot. Zoop. It's really amazing. So that part of if you're on the open highway, you're going across Alligator Alley, you're going up, up the state of Florida and I-95. You set that thing on autopilot and, you want to go 72 miles an hour. It'll do that, and it will stay in the lines. You can look around if you want to pass. You can put your signal light on, and the car will pass when it's right for it to do it. So you don't crash into somebody else. It'll wait for the right time, and then it'll dart out and get so it can pass the slow guy in front of you. If it's traffic, it'll automatically slow down, keep the right distances, and when the traffic speeds up, it'll speed up by itself. You don't have to do a thing, and it'll get up to 72, assuming it has the right distance between you and the car in front of you. It won't go faster than that because you set that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's like an advanced, I would call it a super duper cruise control. That's about it. And now they have advanced autopilot here. They're trying to charge you $6,000. Feature details. While driving on the highway, automatic lane change will position your car in the optimal lane and prepare for merges and exits and overtaking slow cars. Oh yeah, that's great. For $6,000. But again, navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, auto park, summon, and smart summon. Now, summon and smart summon is really quite nice because if it's raining out, the car will drop you off in front of the restaurant. As I say, it's a rainy lunch, so the car will come up. You're driving the car. You pull up in front of the restaurant, and you shut the door, and it'll go off, and it'll park itself. And then when it parks, then it will find a spot that's open, and then it will lock the car. And then now you have the phone with you, of course, and you sit down and you have lunch and you chit-chat with whoever you're talking to. And then when you're ready, you can, let's say, come out another door of the restaurant that's covered, for example, and press summon, and the car will unpark itself from wherever it parked, and it will come get you where you are at. Not necessarily the front door where you left off under the canopy, because you came out the side door. It'll find you at the side door, and it will drive itself to do that. That's pretty cool. But that costs you $6,000. Really? That's nuts. That's crazy. 15,000 full self-driving capability. However, none of these cars will be able to do it safely. Coming soon, auto steer on city streets. Yeah. You know what? That's been like that for 2 years, at least 2 years that I know, because I bought the car. You know, we already have one. And it said that same thing. You know, soon? What the, you know, come on, what's soon? Coming, put a date on there. Look, yeah, they won't. Estimated, see up on the very top? Estimated delivery June to July. What's this, May? So they're pretty on top of that. And let's see if I change the design. To high performance. They just call it performance. June, July. Yeah, see, June, July, 2023. Yeah, there's no change in delivery date. How about if we just do the Model Y? Yeah. Anyway, so June to July. This is May, June. It's like, you know, like next month. It's amazing. So they don't have a lot of, you know, there's not a long string of too many. They have the capacity now, you know, with a plant in California and a plant in Texas. They turn out these cars. You know, Texas is really focused on the Model 3 and the Model Y. So if we got this car, it'll come out of Texas. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're going to try to do. And in 6, 8, 9 months, whatever the lag time is, because we don't want two cars at the same time, you know. So if it's 60 days, then, you know, May, April, May, March, you know, so March, you place an order for the next car. And they know who you are. They know we paid, you know, on time every month. Without any issues. So, anyway, that's how you order a car. These guys are still, yeah, see, here's the auto parking. You just do it. Yep. Here's someone, see? The car comes out, drives. Let's turn the screen down a little bit so you can see a little more detail. That's hard to tell. So for, you know, on the turnpike, you know, you're on the highway, I-95, whatever, it's it works really good. You know, now you still have to, you know, keep an eye on it, but, you know, you don't have this constant issue with the pedals on the, you know, and the brake and the stop and the go. The car does that all by itself. So stop and go, you know, you're in stop and go traffic, the car does it all for you. You shouldn't, but you could take a nap and it'll get there. And this is where the summon, the car picks you up. That is spooky. Car pulls up and then you get in it and drive away. You're wondering, well, that's funny. No one got out of the car. Car's empty. Car drives itself out of the parking lot. You know, it only goes, you know, like 5 miles an hour. But you know, like if you live in the city, you could be 2-3 blocks away, and it'll go all the way around the block. It'll look for parking places, you know, for parallel parking like this, and, you know, slip in a space when, you know, or if you have a big parking lot, you know, then like in a mall or something, It'll park in one of the spaces, and then when you're done, it'll come out and find you. Wherever the phone is, it'll go to the phone, actually. Assuming that's in your hand. Your phone is your key. They tell you that. Anyway, so that's it'll end up there with the. So we wish you a very good afternoon, and we're going to leave you with some epidemias, and I'll get off. We'll see you tomorrow.